My name's Nigel Poole, and I'm the director at Matter Design and Digital, a digital agency in Sydney, Australia. Today I'm going to be talking about a project that we've built for a client called Firewire Surfboards. The project is a headless commerce site built with BigCommerce's BigCommerce for WordPress plugin. And what I'm going to do today is take you through the tech stack and the setup for this project, and how we've achieved multi-currency and multi-inventory shopping in the US and Australia, and how that all works with BigCommerce and WordPress. So just to give some context, we're going to have a look at the tech stack first. The tech stack is really three layers. We've got Acumatica ERP, a single instance for each region, one in the US, one in Australia. Both of them push data into the BigCommerce instance. We get all product information from the US Acumatica instance, and then we get pricing and inventory information from the Australian Acumatica instance, and that is all pushed into the product catalog in BigCommerce and into price lists in BigCommerce for each currency. The currencies are Australian dollars and US dollars, and we've set up the WordPress front end to handle each currency and use geolocation to locate the user and give them the correct pricing. All the catalog and product information is pushed into WordPress via the BigCommerce for WordPress plugin. We can get all information into WordPress with native functionality, except for regional inventory at this point. So what we have done is, for inventory, we've pushed that into a JSON string into a UPC field on each product variant, and we then pick that data up in WordPress to control availability in each region. So on the front end, we've got three states depending on your region. We've got if you're outside of Australia and the US, you are seeing a catalog site that is non-shoppable. If you're in Australia, you're seeing a shoppable site in Australian dollars. And if you're in the US, you're seeing a US pricing in USD. All traffic from Australia and the US ends up in an embedded checkout on BigCommerce, and all orders are collected back in the BigCommerce platform, which are then routed to the correct ERP instance based on their currency. So what I'll do is jump into the back end of BigCommerce to start with, and show you how some of the data is coming through. So what we're looking at here is one of their products, the Sci-Fi 2.0, and they have variant products for each design style. And those variants will be comprised of a technology, a fin system, so whether it uses future fins or FCS fins, which are the two major fin configurations, and then the size, so the length, width, and thickness of the board, and most importantly, the volume of the board. And finally, some of the products will have a color assigned to it as well. Then what we have in the UPC field on each variant is a JSON string, which pulls through inventory for each region. So for this size, there is zero inventory and in the Australia and the US, so it is sold out in both regions. Now, what we have is pricing, which is pushed through from Australian dollar, the Australian Acumatica. That is the default pricing that is against the catalog, but we don't use this price. We use price lists to control the pricing that is used in WordPress, and we do that on a multi-currency price list. So we've got Australian dollars and US dollars coming through. And in here we can see the pricing for each currency. Here we see the US price points published into here from Acumatica. We see the catalog price, which is actually the Australian price including GST, and the discount value is just calculated, but it's not really important because we're actually just referencing the new price. In Australian dollars, we have the catalog price, which is the end price that we want to see. Because we have to configure the tax settings to be either displaying inclusive or exclusive of tax, we've applied a reduction in the price, which is equal to the tax, so that we can then calculate that tax on top of an exclusive of tax price, and we end up with the correct price for the customer. What we'll do is jump into the front end, and we'll see how that information is coming through. So here we have the homepage. Firewire is really about building a strong brand in the industry. Traditionally, all their product is sold through a retail store network, and it's only recently that they have sold direct to the public. So, but there's a lot of content on here that is brand content, telling the story of the different brands that they own under the Firewire brand. It's actually owned by Kelly Slater, and his brand Slater Designs is one of their key brands. And so we've created some nice WordPress style content pages that is all managed in WordPress. We have an Instagram feed. We have a feed of their product catalog that's actually feeding in from BigCommerce. And then if we go into the product listing pages, what we can see is what you'd expect on a e-commerce site. We've got categories, we've got filters, and we've got our range of boards in each of the parent categories: short boards, grom boards, long boards, kite boards. One of the interesting UX features that we built in is a volume calculator. Surfers buy boards based on the volume because the volume of the board will determine how buoyant it is and how much weight it can support. So if you're a surfer, the two key metrics you need to input is your weight. So if you put in your weight and your skill level and calculate, the system will recommend the volume that you should be riding. It will also give you a range of volume. You can ride a little bit lower in better waves and a little bit higher in weaker waves. And then it gives you the option to see the board sizes in each design that suits you. And what this does is it applies a filter, so a volume filter, and it applies that. It looks through all the product variants and recommends the correct size for each board in their range. This is the exact experience you would get if you walk into a surf shop and ask the salesman what size board you should ride. They will do exactly this process and make a recommendation based on that. If we look into a product detail page, we'll see that we have a gallery of images fed in from BigCommerce, including YouTube embedded videos at the base. We then have all our product variants and options to select. We have we have the image changing based on the color option, and we have the size variant as being dependent on the colors chosen. So we will change this list based on the color, and we'll also pull in inventory and we'll be showing which are sold out and which are available. This gives the user a really direct way to find the boards that they're after, and they can then add to cart, and if it's not in stock, they can click to order now and send an inquiry. That's all we've got time for today, but if you guys are interested to learn more, please reach out. My details will be available on the transcript, and I'd love to hear from you and hear what you're up to with BigCommerce.